On 25th of August, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, our Honorable Finance Minister, has unveiled Ease 40. This is the screen. I thought that we will deliberate 2 minutes before we go to the other things, because this will hold the key for all the PSUs, not only PSUs, all the banks going forward, and the performance will be evaluated based on these themes. If you remember, the Ease 1, this is which started in 2019. It aimed at laying the foundation of things regarding customer responsiveness, the comfort of mobile and banking, grievances redressal. The second edition of Ease program was for clean and smart banking. It was launched in 2020. It wanted to systematically address the root causes of the weaknesses of PSBs. Ease 3.0, the transformation of PSBs into digital and data-driven banks, which was inaugurated in 2020. It has three aspects. First is the consumer behavior. Second is the rapid technological advances. Third, the regulatory environment. The third edition of the Ease reforms was launched in 2021. It was to catalyze the accelerated adoption of customer-centric and digital transformation initiatives across the banks. Now with the completion of that, as I told you, the Union Bank was one of the awardees in Ease 3.0 in many of the themes, along with the State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda. On 25th, Honorable Finance Minister has unveiled Ease 4.0. Before you, the screen, the snapshot is there. It has 4 key initiatives. The first is the smart lending. How does it work? Is a dial a loan for dole safe certification, the end-to-end completion of the loan process. The credit at the rate click, what it says, the digital retail and MSME lending to the new bank customers. So it should be analytics based and driven by AI. The second is data enabled agricultural financing. Same thing applicable to agriculture with the partnership with Agri-Techs for data exchange, whether the automatic processing will be done by the banks. The third most crucial is 24/7 banking with resilient technology. All of you know that the digital banking, it has its own advantages. Also, it has the own disadvantages. Most of the times, customers face difficulty in the customer grievances redressal. So whether the deep penetration of mobile and internet banking with safe banking can be offered to our customers, whether the cloud-based IT systems and improved cyber resilience will be a part of our digital banking, whether we can automate the processes, all these things will come here. And the fourth initiative is collaborating with financial ecosystem. So banks, as I told you a little bit earlier, it is not only getting competition from the banks or the differentiated new banks, it is also getting competition from NBFCs, also the fintech companies. See the peer-to-peer lending, how it going. You see how Amazon Pay is working, how Google Pay is taking away all your remittance business. Whether we can have some collaboration or we can compete with them, it is up to the banks to decide. Whether we can scale up the delivery through collaboration, whether we can co-lend by taking the help of the NBFCs who have the expertise and benefit. Few of the more important things which is relevant to this conference, let me tell regarding Ease 4.0 is the structured onboarding program for the new probationary officers. What it says, implement a 52-week program for newly inducted probationary officers with a focus on digitally enabled learning. That is electronic learning or virtual learning, what we call e-learning, including on preventive vigilance, continuous assessment through self-assessment test. The second important aspect which will directly affect us is long-term talent, leadership development and succession planning. That is creating a leadership pipeline, which will not only include the hard skills, also it will include the soft skill programs per se. The third important aspect is business outcome focused performance appraisal. So performance appraisal and measurement of performance appraisal will be critical. To that extent, putting the right people at the right place will be very crucial as far as HR is concerned. Otherwise, what will happen? As it is said, if we want the fish to climb a tree, it will be not possible. Though fish has its own strengths, it will be completely out of sync. Though that the responsibility will lie either to teach the fish how to climb the tree or to find a right kind of people who can climb the tree. So another important thing is the centralized tracking and monitoring of individual specific compliance record, including linkage to performance management system and career process. That means in every stage, people have to acquire the necessary skills when they proceed in their career. And the last but not the least, the increased time spent on strategy and planning related discussions. That means when you grow up, you should not only know the normal banking activities, you should also be aware of the strategic shift which is happening in the environment and the planning which is happening not only in banking but also by the Government of India, RBI, all the stakeholders here. So more of voice, I think it will be sent to the various banks for the further deliberation. Sir, I think with this we can proceed. Sir, Rajkiran Rai, sir, you are telling that you have one meeting at 3. On behalf of all the participants and on behalf of IIBF, I thank you for participating in the HR conference, and we'll take forward your guidance in this matter. Right. So, coming forward to our the presentation of IIBF. So, if you see regardless of the industry, regardless of the organization, there are few things common in human resources: the objective, the scope, and the function. The objective will always be one, to source or create right people for the right job. The banks have shifted from generalist to the specialist and the more and more specialization will occur in future. The second is the scope, which is quite extensive. It is from personal aspect to welfare aspect to industrial relation aspect. And the functions, if you see, is in the wide-ranging functions, the most important will be the training and development. Let us see how IIBF will be partnering with you. To give a snapshot, if you see, the members are the core strength of IIBF. Members cutting across the banks, members cutting across the grades, they have been proud to be associated with the IIBF, and IIBF is also proud to have them as the members. We have close to 9,66,718 ordinary members. If you see the new members added in 2020-21, it is 39,000. So the courses we have designed to suit the requirement of the banks as well as the employees. It is the combination of both, how the employees react to our courses and what are the requirement of the banks. And the exam, which is the end product of any certification process, the process of exam has also undergone a sea change thanks to COVID. We have shifted to remote proctor exam. It is mostly technology driven, remote proctor, and the mode of exam is quite user friendly to all the participants. The academics department has broadened its horizon and ventured into creating quality and contemporary courseware and learning materials. If you see, not only we have created learning materials in hardcore banking, we have also created learning materials in strategic management and cyber security and digital learning and newer technology also. More trust is being given to research-oriented activities involving bankers, academicians to get the synergy among the banks and the industry. Coming to the training program, our focus has always been the quality in the content and the delivery, I think. Whether it reaches in the right way to the right kind of people, whether the session is interactive, more and more programs are being co-created in consultation and collaboration with banks. So if you see the enrollment, the number of people who has appeared last year, particularly for JIB and CIB, which are our flagship courses, is close to 1,45,813. And for the diploma courses, it has also attracted more than 2,34,000 people. The capacity building courses, which are mandated by RBI, if you see the certified credit professional, certified treasury professional, risk in financial services, and certified accounting and credit professional, forex operations, gradually I feel it will gain traction going forward, because more and more we go towards specialization, we will require this type of specialization courses. So coming to the range of activities, one of the major objectives, as I told, to drive the HRM is to drive productivity by ensuring a steady supply of competent and skilled professionals to various verticals of the banks. The achieving organization goals by using effective human resources is the main aim of IIBF also, because the mission of IIBF is closely aligned to this function of HR, to develop professionally qualified and competent bankers and financial professionals through the process of education, training, examination, so that the continuous professional development occurs and the banks get the right people. So education is the passport to the future. So the who prepare well today, they will only prosper tomorrow. So updation of the courseware, the syllabus of JIB and CIB is getting upgraded to make it more contemporary, more back-home utility. So introduction of new courses in sync with the emerging needs. The specialized courses, as you saw, and more specialized courses for specialized verticals is coming up. The training department is also investing more on knowledge-based training, which pays the best interest. Ensure the quality is the key to all the training programs. We want to keep the rigor of the training programs, and by understanding the needs of the banks, that will help us also to create more and more training programs with some backup utility. The ease of conduct of examination and ease of getting certification is also on the radar. We have shifted to remote proctor exam, and we have also shifted to digital certification, which reaches the participants very fast. So we are trying to revamp our research activity. The research activity will be on contemporary subject, though we are having the research activity in the shape of macro, micro, and in the technology areas. The synergy between banks and academia is our main focus. Most of the time the research happens in economics more than the banking subject. Our effort will be to have the research on banking related subjects which will have a back-home utility. So the publications which is brought out by IIBF, the daily publications, monthly publications, quarterly publications in the shape of Bank Quest, which has also find a place and got the accreditation from UGC. It has the widest reach. It goes to almost more than 7 lakhs members through their mail. Those who have not yet able to receive, please contact our membership service department so that we will be sending all those materials to you. The seminars we have been able to have the membership knowledge series where we invite the eminent personalities from the industry to have interaction. We also have 2 flagship seminars, the last one being the R.K. Talwar seminar, which was got a rousing response from the bankers. It was delivered by Mr. the CA, Dr. Krishnamurti Subramaniam. So going forward also we will have all these activities more and more. So the consultancy which we do generally, it goes beyond the boundaries. We have helped the Nepal, Sikkim and Nigerian central banks to develop the courses also. That gives us the breadth and the knowledge how the exams and the education happens overseas also. Now I request the Director Academics, Dr. Muralidharan, to take you through the courses offered by the Institute.
A very good afternoon to all ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be amidst all of you. Coming to the courses of the Institute, our courses can be broadly segregated into 5 major broad areas. 1, the flagship courses, which is basically comprised of the JAB, CIB and DBF, which is taken, as CEO has said, by more than 1 lakh candidates on an annual basis. The diploma exams, we have six diploma exams in different areas: treasury, international banking, technology, retail banking, wealth management and urban cooperative banking. Coming to the certificates, these certificates, diploma courses are generally 2 or 3 paper examinations, whereas the certificates, they are single paper examinations offering certification in niche areas. We have as many as 23 certificate courses, the last 2 being the ones which will be introduced from the month of October in the remote proctored mode. Serial number 21 is a special course on the insolvency bankruptcy code specifically designed for bankers. Because bankers form, the committee of creditors under the IBC code mainly comprise of bankers who are the financial creditors, and they play an extremely important role in the resolution of the cases which have been referred under the IBC code. Therefore, bankers need to know the intricacies involved in the code, and hence this course has been designed in consultation with the knowledge partner Insolvency Bankruptcy Board of India. The regulator is the knowledge body, is the knowledge partner insofar as this course is concerned, and the syllabus for this exam has been designed in consultation with the IIBF. The 2 new certificate courses which will be introducing in strategic management and innovation in banking and emerging technologies. These will be the 2 new certificate courses which will also form part of the professional banker qualification, which we will be walking all of you through at a later point of time. Coming to the blended courses, we have 6 courses. 1 on compliance in association with the Company Secretaries of India, the Certified Bank Trainer, Treasury, Credit, Risk, Accounting and Audit. The last 4 which I mentioned, plus serial number 11, the certificate course on FEDI, are part of the capacity building courses which have been mandated by the Reserve Bank of India. And we are happy to share with all of you, IIBF is the only institution which offers the courses covering all the 5 areas. NABM also gives 4 areas, but IIBF is the only institution which gives courses in all these areas. And even after 4 years of introduction of the mandated qualification by the Reserve Bank in August 2016, we find even in a COVID pandemic year where the number of exams could not be held as scheduled, nearly 12,000 candidates have enrolled for these examinations, which is a very encouraging sign. Other than this, we have management programs. We have a collaboration with the IGNOU, the MBA for people who have completed CIB, and the advanced management program, which my colleague Mr. Prakash Mehrotra will be walking you through later. Sir, in any bank, be it a small or a large bank, broadly in our opinion, in our considered opinion, there will be 10 broad verticals in any bank. They will be in the areas of credit, retail, rural banking, HRM, compliance and audit, international banking, risk management, treasury, information technology, and general banking. Broadly, there could be more, there could be less in case of certain banks, but in most of the cases, these will be the important verticals in any bank. Now, if you kindly see this slide, for every vertical in a bank, we have at least two academic courses which seek to fulfill the expectation of bankers in that particular vertical. This is just for your information so that you can encourage your employees to take up these courses. The mandated courses which we have already shared earlier, I just want to add one thing, that the capacity building courses will also form part of the professional banker qualification, about which we will be explaining to you shortly. And all these examinations are held in the remote proctored mode, which offers the convenience to the candidates of appearing for the exams from their respective homes or offices without at the same time diluting quality. Insofar as the BCBF certification is concerned, as per RBI's instruction, IIBF is the sole certifying agency for the business correspondence of both the scheduled commercial banks as well as that of the payment banks. In the year 2019, in consultation with the Reserve Bank of India, the syllabus of the BC certification course has been revamped. Different models of certification have been designed. There are basically 3 models, and the flexibility is given to the banks to choose which model they would like to have their BC certified. And considering the fact that the operations of the payments bank are different from that of the commercial bank in as much as they are narrower in scope, a separate certification course has been designed for the business correspondence of the payment banks. Now, this certification courseware there is a separate dedicated courseware which has been prepared in 11 languages, considering the fact that the BCs will be more comfortable in their local languages, in their own languages. And the examinations are held in 11 languages at increased frequencies to ensure that we are able to meet the deadline stipulated by the RBI insofar as certification of BCs are concerned. And we are happy to inform you, sir, that ladies and gentlemen, that during 2020-21, as many as 1,47,919 BCs had enrolled for the certification exam conducted by the institute, which means that IIBF is in a position to offer seamless certification to a large number of BCs in the shortest possible time.
Yeah, just a small addendum to what Dr. Mulyan is telling. RBI has extended the certification process up to December this year, December 21. Earlier, all the BCs who were working for different banks were supposed to get the certificate by June. Because of pandemic, RBI has extended the deadline up to December. This is my request to all the HRS. Our examination department is talking to different banks because close to 1 lakh BCs are still there who are yet to be certified. Please.
Yeah. So our request is that kindly get in touch with us. We will ensure that your BCs are certified as early as possible without ensuring dilution in standards. Now coming back to the DRA certification, like the BCBF certification, as per RBI's instructions again, IIBF is the sole certifying agency for the DRAs. Now in consultation with the RBI and the IBA, 2 separate training programs have been designed, one for graduates with a 50-hour training program and one for non-graduates with a 100-hour training program. Exams and the courseware in 11 languages, and during 2021, the number of DRAs enrolled was 41,000. Now here we would just like to mention one point. To ensure a large number of DRAs are trained, meeting the guidelines of RBI, we have accredited as many as 22 institutions offering DRA training across the country. Earlier, pre-COVID time, the training used to be held in the physical mode, but based on the request of the agencies and the banks, now the training is held in the virtual mode, subject to a certain set of guidelines and stipulations which have been framed by the institute. Our request to all the senior heads of banks is that kindly ensure that the DRA only the candidates who have been trained by the institutions accredited by IIBF are only allowed to appear for the exam. So the details of the agencies who have been accredited by IIBF have been placed on the website. There are as many as 22 agencies in different parts of the country who are training DRAs on a regular basis. Now, coming to the new certificate courses, as we have mentioned, there are basically two new certificate courses which we will be introducing from October 2021. Again, in the remote proctored mode. One is on strategic management and innovation in banking, and one is on emerging technologies. While we have a dedicated courseware on strategic management and innovation in banking, for the time being, for emerging technologies, we have prescribed certain standard books which are available in the Kindle version on Amazon. But having said that, a book by us is being authored and which will be ready shortly. So my request to all the senior bankers is that to kindly encourage your people to appear for this exam. Then coming to the professional banker qualification, as our president has said in his speech, this is basically based on the job family concept which has been introduced in many of the banks. This is the basic objective of the professional banker qualification is to meet two objectives. Number one, to bridge the skill gaps, and number two, to have a system of continuing professional development of the bankers. Now, and based on the job family concept, there will be specialization in interconnected verticals in line with the job family concept. This will act as an incentive for bankers to acquire additional specialized qualification, which will also help them to build a strategic vision built on ethical foundation and preparing them for higher responsibilities in the years to come. To briefly touch upon the path to a professional banker will be as under. One, a prerequisite will be he or she has to have completed CAB, should have had 5 years of experience. Now what the first step ensures is that he or she acquires the basic knowledge required in banking operations. The second stage will be the compulsory subjects, will be ethics in banking and strategic management and innovation in banking. These are two compulsory subjects which has to be passed by a candidate. This will lay the foundation in growth and corporate governance. And subsequent to this, there will be 5 different tracks for a person to choose from. The tracks are credit, treasury, accounting and audit, information technology, international banking. This track will enable one to acquire specialization in interconnected verticals, about which I will explain to you in the next slide. Once this is completed, he or she can apply for the professional banker qualification. I just want to make one point clear here, sir. It is not necessary that the path will have to be followed sequentially. It may be possible that a person is yet to complete CAB, but has finished 1 or 2 capacity building courses, maybe in the area of credit and treasury, or he or she would have completed ethics in banking. Credits for the courses which they have completed will continue to be available, and once the required qualification is obtained, he or she can apply for the professional banker qualification. This is just a point of clarification for the bankers. Now, when it comes to tracks, the tracks have been so chosen that they are interlinked with each other. For example, a person working in the credit department of a bank needs to understand the nuances involved in risk management while appraising the credit proposals. Therefore, the credit track will have certifications in the area of credit as well as risk. The next track is treasury. Here again, treasury and risk are directly interrelated to each other. Therefore, the certifications under the treasury track will be the certified treasury professional and the risk in financial services. All these courses are forming part of the capacity building process mandated by the Reserve Bank. The third track is the accounting and audit track. Here again, there will be two certifications which will be required. One is a certified accounting and audit professional, certified banking compliance professional, which we are giving in collaboration with the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. The fourth track, this will have 3 papers. One is on cyber crimes, one is on emerging technologies, which will be introduced from October, and the third one will be certificate in digital banking. The fifth and final track is the international banking track. One is the foreign exchange course, which is given in association with FEDI, and the diploma in international banking and finance, which is a 3-paper diploma examination which a candidate has to pass. Any other track, if you want to include, your suggestions are most welcome. We can examine it going forward. Now, insofar as the research activities are concerned, I would request my colleague Dr. Kritika to briefly tell about the research initiatives which is undertaken by the institute.
Good afternoon, everyone. One of the objectives of the institute is to promote research in the area of banking and finance and encourage innovation and creativity among banking and finance professionals. So far, IIBF has established 4 major research schemes, namely micro research, macro research, Diamond Jubilee and CH Bhava Banking Overseas Research Fellowship, and Research Fellowship in Banking Technology. Micro research is an essay competition exclusively for the members of the institute to present their original ideas, thoughts, and best practices. This initiative was started in 2004. Since then, the institute invites micro research papers every year on the topics identified by our research advisory committee. The selected papers are rewarded with a citation and cash prize ranging from 5,000 to 15,000 rupees. Then we have macro research scheme, which was instituted in 2003. Under this scheme, the institute invites proposals from institutes as well as banks to take up research as per the themes identified by our research advisory committee. Upon selection, institute awards grant support of rupees 2.5 lakhs for undertaking the macro research project. As on date, 56 macro research projects have been completed under this scheme. Diamond Jubilee and CH Bhava Banking Overseas Research Fellowship is open for the CIB qualified life members of our institute with minimum 5 years of work experience in banks or financial institutions. It gives opportunity to the selected fellow to undertake a research study in the latest developments in field of banking and finance in India or abroad. Institute pays an honorarium of rupees 1 lakh to the candidate on successful completion of the project and also sponsors a visit to a foreign country if there is a necessity for the same. As on date, 23 research projects under this scheme have been completed. Research Fellowship in Banking Technology, IIBF and IIBT has taken an initiative to jointly announce this scheme in 2019. This is to sponsor technically and economically feasible research projects which have the potential to contribute significantly to banking and finance industry. Research proposals are invited under the trust area identified by both the institutes, and one selected researcher is awarded with a fellowship of 5 lakh, which is completely funded by IIBF. This was the brief overview of research activities of our institute. I now request Ms. P. Soumya, Deputy Director Academics, to take us through the continuing professional development program of.
Good afternoon, everyone. The continuing professional development program is basically to help the interested candidates who wish to improve themselves in shaping their career in an increasingly competitive environment. So the CPD program is aimed at enhancing the professional competence through a formal, structural and verifiable training program. Now, taking cognizance of the dynamic banking environment, the institute felt that the guidelines under the CPD program needs to be revised. And in that case, what we have done is the weightages have been slightly increased. The certificate courses, the weightage of has been increased from 2 credits to 3 credits. The seminars and webinars, if attended, which is being conducted by IIBF and it is being attended by the candidates who have registered for CPD, credits will be awarded for these also. The research activities, as explained by my colleague just now, that also will be considered. If anybody has won the paper submitted in micro, macro or the Diamond Jubilee, those credits will be accordingly awarded for them. Candidates, CPD registered candidates can also publish their articles in the Institute's quarterly journal, that is Banquist, which is a theme-based journal. So credits over there also have now been included under the revised guidelines. Basis the requests that we saw and also the review that we had done, we found that many candidates were also, they became aware, the awareness on CPD came a little later, wherein they had just cleared their qualifications a few months back or something. So considering those also requests, we thought that any candidate who registers himself under CPD and he has cleared any papers in the last 9 months, he can also be, those qualifications can also be given credits under the CPD program. The self-paced e-learning courses have had been introduced earlier, but it was not formally identified under the CPD credit system. This has also been now included, and the two subjects that we have taken under the self-paced e-learning are digital banking and ethics and banking. And lastly, this validity period of the CPD program was for 2 years. Again, on a review and requests received from many CPD registered candidates, we really thought it necessary, looking at the interest that the candidates are also showing in registering for the program. We have now actually given a length or a period by when the candidates can actually clear. So if candidates are able to do it within a period of 1 year, we are ready to issue the CPD certificate for them. Of course, the upper cut or the maximum period that they get for getting their CPD clearance will be 2 years. So they can do it between a range of 1 year to 2 years. The fee for registering this is a nominal amount of about 1,000 rupees plus GST. And this was introduced effective September 2020. I now request our colleagues to take it.
So, this remote proctor exam, if you remember when we were discussing, it is ease of taking the exam. Because of the COVID, it was fast track. Many of the institutes have also included some of the exams. We have shifted part of our exam to the remote proctor. The flagship programs we are yet to shift. It is basically allowing the students to write the exam at their convenience, at the remote location. There is a proctoring software actually, which not only identifies the student, it also monitors the activity using AI. So it is ease of appearing the exam. If you see the number of participants who have appeared in this exam is close to 34,220. Going forward, maybe if you see we have shifted almost 14 certificate exams from 3. We started with 3, then shifted to another 14 to this exam. So let us see, but there are certain issues with that also, because the bandwidth has to be correct, the people has to be acquainted with this type of exams. So coming to that e-learning, Preeti will take up the e-learning. As per the KPMG report, during the year of pandemic, the online education industry has seen a growth of 6 times in 20 and 21. Number of users has increased to close to 9.6 million. This is the power. Whether we call it electronic learning or virtual learning, not only it provides scalability, it also saves time for the candidates. So I hope this e-learning has come to stay. Preeti, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to showcase the e-learning vertical of our institute. We are we can proudly announce that yes, IIBF is offering a wide range of subjects under different bank verticals. E-learning is available. Presently, the institute is offering e-learnings covering some of the important courses like JIIB, CIIB, credit management, MSME, international trade finance. Then we have e-learning on AML KYC. On the screen, you can just have a look at the different subjects for which the e-learnings are available. And you will all, as rightly said by our CEO, that in this infotech age, the E method of learning has become most important vehicle in disseminating knowledge in the higher education institutions. And this sector is growing and changing at a rapid speed due to the developments in the technology. The catalog of media enhanced PowerPoint slides, streaming video, lectures, infographics, smart art, additional readings, whiteboard, animated videos, gamification, advanced simulations, and some interactive Excel based practice problems, which may be individualized by the learners. They all form a part of the e-learnings that are being offered by IIBF. And as was rightly said by our president, that e-learning has emerged as an effective and powerful pedagogical tool recently, and especially in this backdrop of pandemic-led disruptions. We are considering the growing acceptability of e-learning. We are also talking about m-learning, that is mobile learning, making bit-sized, user-friendly, more interactive with easy accessibility. We are trying to, our institute, our endeavor will be to make our e-learning more user-friendly and bit-sized, so that the learners can access the e-learning modules on the go whenever they have some spare, they can spare some time for their learning activities. They can access those e-learning modules and gain good knowledge. So considering the growing acceptability of e-learning, the institute has also initiated the process of introducing new e-learning modules, especially in the area of risk management, treasury management, emerging technologies, branch operations, etc. As of now, I request my colleague to please take us on the previous slide, please. Previous slide, please.
Previous.
Yeah, thank you. So as we have, you can see on the slide that our e-learnings are more content driven, and our focus will be to impart good knowledge, complete knowledge, wholesome knowledge to all the learners. And there will be a lot of exercises, there will be a lot of quizzes which will be which are as of now which are available in our e-learning. We have also come up with something called as corporate license, wherein there are two models as of now which are made available. One model is wherein you can have a corporate license for the entire year, that is on a per annum basis. You can have our e-learning modules made available, and which will be integrated with your bank's LMS, and there will be no restrictions on the number of users. So our e-learning modules will be made available to your employees. The numbers there is no restrictions on the numbers, and it will be on your LMS, which will be made available for an entire year. Then there is another module, another model in which we provide our e-learning to the as a corporate license, which is on the basis of a per candidate login basis. And here there will be performance reports of all your candidates, of all your employees, how has been their performance, what has been their level of learning. So these reports can be generated either on a weekly, fortnightly, or on a monthly basis as per the requirement of the banks, and that can be made available to you to have understanding as to what has been their learning learning graph. So this is the two models which we have made available under corporate license. So any requirement that comes in from your banks, we are all there to help you. We can customize the e-learning as per your requirement. It can be made bank specific. If there is any modules which you would like to get customized for your banks, we can do that for you. So any e-learning requirements, if are there from your side, please let us know. It will be a privilege to serve your esteemed organizations, and we'll be providing you with the best quality e-learning modules and updated modules, taking into account all the latest developments that take place in the banking and finance industry. So we'll be providing you with all the updated content as per your requirements. Thank you so much. And now I request our Director Training, Mr. Prakash Mehrotra, to please take us through the training vertical. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, friends. Now this is the turn for talking about the training programs. our IIBF conducts a wide range of programs, training programs, which are suitable to the needs of the officials working in various verticals. Dr. Muralidharan has already told that there are 10 important verticals in the banks. So we are having the various programs which are designed to impart the necessary skills and knowledge, updated information to the candidates who are working in various departments. So there is a list of these programs, and we are working out many more programs also as per the changing needs of the bankers. So there is no need to go through each and every program. Nowadays, actually, there is a lot of focus on the customized programs because we are having as our members all kinds of banks, public sector banks, private sector, cooperative banks, small finance banks, payment banks, and even the fintech companies, NBFCs. So they are all actually in collaboration with our institute. They are requesting for the collaboration or the joint programs or the co-programs, co-created programs. On daily basis, we are receiving some or other information. I will be very happy to tell you that during the first 4 months, we have conducted around 12 customized programs this year. And still there are a lot many requirements which we are going on working. Many more new members or new banks who were not actually availing the programs earlier, now they are also taking our programs. So these customized training programs, as you all know, they are tailor-made programs suiting to the specific needs of the concerned banks, because the same audit and compliance program may be differently designed for a payment bank, differently designed for a cooperative bank, and likewise. And even the forex programs or international trade finance programs may vary if we create it for a public sector bank or private sector bank, small branches, big branches. So this will all be different. And the programs which we have made so far are broadly covering this agricultural finance, retail banking, induction programs we have conducted for many banks, and programs on ethics, audit compliance, credit appraisal, balance sheet analysis. MSME programs have got a very big traction actually, which we create. We have conducted almost 15 programs under MSME lending and restructuring. So there is a very good traction. Some of the banks have been utilizing the programs in a very big way. Others are sending less number of participants, but depending on your requirement, you are using our programs. So thanks a lot for that. We have given some statistics. Yeah. So this is just the statistics of the last year. Despite the pandemic, we could organize 104 programs, mostly in the second half of the year, because first half was almost dry. And there are various training programs which have got very good traction of last year's figures. Will vouch for that. We are having 3 very important collaborations. So one such collaboration is with the XLRI, Jamshedpur, for our leadership development program for the banks and FIs. This program, actually, the first batch is going on. Tomorrow is the validation of the first program, which is started on 24 July. The main objective of this program is to transform good managers into effective leaders with human-centric approach. And this is basically a soft skill focused program where the expertise of XLRI is helping our officials who have completed 5 years of service in the bank at least. That is the target group. This is basically 6 weeks long program spread over Saturdays and Sundays only. So 6 hours per week we are giving the training. We started this program on 24th July and it is going to be over tomorrow, 28th August. Tomorrow is the validation for that.
Next program setting.
Yeah. So this time actually, in the very first program, we got 70 participants, 55 from one bank alone. And that is why we actually could not take more participants from other banks. So these 70 participants have been divided into 2 batches, and we are conducting the program in 2 batches simultaneously. The next program actually is lined up.
Back. Leadership. Auxiliary. Back. Yeah, back.
Yeah. It is the XLRI.
Auxiliary, yeah. Yeah. We have the pleasure to welcome Dr. George Sebastian Eze, who is the Director, Auxiliary, Xavier School of Business, Delhi. It is a pleasure to have you, sir. We are just discussing regarding the Auxiliary program, which we have successfully launched in collaboration with IIBF and Auxiliary, which has got a rousing response from the bank. And the right time to receive you in this conference. The HR conference, which is being organized by IIBF, is being attended by the top HR heads of the different banks. It has the PSBs, it has the private sector banks, it has the payment banks, it has small finance banks, also some NBFCs also. Close to more than 100 participants are there, sir. And the theme, as you know, it is transforming HR in the digital world, because the disruption is happening in the digital world in such a way that today's thing is not available tomorrow. Every day is a new day. Sir, over to you for your reasoned comments on this. Please unmute, sir.
Thank you very much for this opportunity for interacting with HR professionals from bank. And I'd like to just share few of the studies which are very important during pandemic era. One is, this is a time to reflect about ourselves. What is our basic understanding of human nature? When it comes to human nature, historically, philosophers take two stands. One set of philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, he would say human beings are negative or evil by nature. That's the reason we create a government which is a bigger monster to protect us from ourselves, because we are all each individual small monster. And his famous saying is, man for man is a wolf. And if you take that as we as an individual, what do we think about human nature? Is it good or evil? If you can take any position and you can justify it. There is enough evidences for both. But what is fundamentally one of us believe? Are we always, when we look at other people with suspicion, I have to always cover my back, otherwise I will be eaten alive? If that is the one, then of course, only way to motivate people is rules and regulations, punishment and reward. These are the methods we will go into it. Okay, the proponent of this way of thinking is Thomas Hobbes. Even today, there are so many people. Professor Philip Zimbardo, he has written a book, Rise of Evil, and he calls it Lucifer Effect. And he conducted an experiment, which is famously known as a Stanford prison experiment. And in that also he proves very categorically, if you leave people, create a negative environment, the evil in each one of us will come out very spontaneously. And that is his idea. The second one is Rousseau, another philosopher. He would say, no, human beings are good, positive by nature. Maybe because of growing up in a civilization makes us to do some negative things. So there only he develops his, if that is your basic belief system, that human beings are fundamentally, essentially good, then our HR policies will be totally different. It's more of giving challenging jobs, creating opportunity for each one to find meaning, purpose in life, because each one is essentially interested in becoming the better version. So first of all, as manager, HR manager, which school of thought we believe in? Because whatever we are going to, our policies are going to come from our belief system. If you think human nature is essentially negative, then HR policies are going to be one of punishment, how to fix people. That becomes the roadmap for us. Suppose you strongly believe, at least you realize it. Okay, this is my belief system. Because you are going to act only according to your own belief system. I know some of my friends saying that, no, I can't trust people. I have experienced only betrayal. So I can't prove anything, but all I can say, at least let's be aware of it. Right? This is my fundamental belief system. But that can bring lots of negativity in the system. If we can transform first ourselves into a positive way of thinking, positive belief system, then we will develop a system which promotes excellence in human beings. So that's what they're saying. If you are believing in that fundamentally people are evil, then we are in a survival mode. Because survival mode is about competition, protecting my interests, all other things. That will not bring best in us. So second mode of living, they call it thriving mode. Thriving mode is we become the best version of ourselves, the best what I can be. So this thought we can expand in many evident way. Even evolutionary psychologists, evolutionary scientists, they point out. So there was a time, something around 75,000 years or 80,000 years, the Homo sapiens emerges, right? As Homo sapiens, that is modern man, emerges, all other man, there were actually 6 kinds of human beings were living. Some are called Homo erectus, Homo floritus. So there are small dwarf, like Neanderthal was another species. As the Homo sapiens number increases, other people are dying out. When our number is very majority, there were no other human beings, no other kinds of human beings. The 5 kinds disappear. So for a long time, people thought we are the gangsters, or we are the one who eliminated them, killed all the other 5. That was that essentially we are violent. That was the more or less understanding till recently. It is then one experiment was conducted. Silver wolf, you cannot domesticate them at all. Like a dog or a cow, buffalo, you cannot domesticate. They are very aggressive species. One scientist, Russian scientist, what he did was, he collected some 200-300 silver fox, then studied them. Whoever was less aggressive, he separated them. And they were breeding among themselves. Do you get the point what I'm saying? Like, only quality he focused. Whichever is, all are aggressive, less aggressive is separated, and they were breeding among themselves. Within 10th generation, the look of that silver fox was totally different. It looked almost like a puppy, and ears were floppy. The first generation one, very fearful. Then he points out, maybe as Homo sapiens emerged, we didn't kill them. Actually, Homo sapiens, result of kinder, loving species among the other, breeding among the kinder ones breeding, and new species emerged, that is Homo sapiens. So essentially our nature is good. Essentially, even Charles Darwin, he says it. People misquote him. Survival of the fittest, they say, as if Charles Darwin promoted. Charles Darwin never said that. It's Henry Spencer, one sociologist. He uses that term. In fact, Charles Darwin, in his second book, Ascent of Man, he says these 2 qualities only made Homo sapiens most successful. What are the qualities? Number 1 quality, he says, altruism. without expecting helping other people, you find only in human being. Second quality in human being is we look after next generation for more than 30 years. And no other species looks after their baby for 20, 30 years. A dog maybe 1 or 2 months, right? And camel, it is only half an hour something. Then the baby has to mend its own way. Whereas human beings alone, we mentor, take care, sacrifice our own life for the next generation. So today I'd like to make that observation that only let's first reflect about what is my fundamental belief system regarding human beings. Do I believe human beings are good, positive, essentially? If they do something wrong, maybe situation may be the cause, may not be the true nature. So if I create a right situation, kind of atmosphere, then we can bring best in our employees, best in our friends. Thank you very much, sir, with this thought.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Doctor. It's a extremely insightful and thought-provoking speech you delivered. We all know XLI is the pioneer in research and training in HR practices. As the role of HR is getting more and more complex and challenging, I think your words of wisdom has given enough food for thought to our participants, the HR heads. The last thing which actually what you spoke, the belief system in human beings, I think all of us has to relook at our own belief, how we are working and how we need to work going forward. Thank you so much for sparing time for this, and you have actually enlightened all the participants and the faculties of IIBF. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
We are having any panelist can ask questions to Father in case based on his observation or whatever you think, because all along we are thinking that the survival of the fittest is Darwin principle. So we have to relook what we were thinking earlier. And the belief particularly, I must thank all the HR heads here, what the Father said, that helping others without any expectation. My request to the panelists here or the participants here rather to interact with Father is one of his kind occasion for all of us. Please unmute and you can speak.
So this is Seema from India Post Payments Bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible. Yes.
So just a query. I mean, I could see a course for SFBs, but I thought there was a course for payments banks also. Muralidharanji, it is there, no?
Yeah, madam. We have a specific course for small finance bank. We have we have a separate course for the business correspondence of the payment banks.
That is number one. So that I have been interacting with you at length. I was just thinking if we could have a certificate, because now we've got employees, regular officers in the bank, and if we could have one course specifically for payments bank.
For the payment banks. Yes, madam, definitely. Yes.
We will do, ma'am. We
can do that. And we are offering a separate training program also for the payment banks. But going forward, yes, we can think of having a separate course for the payment bank.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Any question for Father? Any question for us? We have noted it. For Paytm Payment Bank, you have done the.
Any
BC certification, I am in touch with Mr. Muralidharan on a regular basis.
No, I was talking up to Father Francis based on this his HR insights. Whether you have any question for him?
No,
to Dr. Mr.
Good
Father,
afternoon.
question.
Good afternoon. This is Swapna from Bank of Baroda. In fact, I had a question for Father. It was really enlightening to listen to you, sir. You have been, lot of thought provoking has happened from whatever you have spoken today. So you have given an example. There are two sides, the story which you said. So if we are seeing the positivity side of a human being, then they are positive. But when we are in HR and we are handling our people, we find different types of people. There are some people who are positive, there are some people who are negative, and in spite of all our efforts, we are not able to change them to positivity. So there are some aggressive employees also whom we need to handle. I would just like to understand from you, sir, how to handle such type of employees who are full of negativity and we fail to bring the positivity out of them.
Okay, let me give just one example. The cynic, you might have called, some people are very cynical. You start any project, they will say it won't work, if nobody has done it. They will the first one to criticize. You're right? Now,
Correct.
how do they become a cynical in the first place? One main reason is they are intelligent people. Their intelligence was never appreciated. And that's the reason they became cynical. The moment their intelligence is acknowledged by companions, right, peers, a real change takes place. But we try to, oh, he is a cynical, he is a negative guy, so let's avoid him. So then he becomes more cynical, more aggressive. So you have to see why that particular behavior gets manifested. Okay, some of the good thing in that person was never recognized. Then it can give birth to error. So that way only we have to. Suppose I am the second school of thought, that is first school of thought. People are essentially evil. Then I will say, see, look at it. This is a classical example. Human beings are evil. So let's punish him or dismiss him. Then we lose the opportunity to transform another human person. That's it. I'm not saying easy. It's very, very difficult because making people to hate one another is very easy. The negative emotions are 5 times stronger than the positive emotions. So that is the. See, in fact, we do not have only one brain. Sir, I will take just 1 minute more to explain that, to answer that question. We have 2 brains. Okay, one brain is neocortex. That is our rational thinking brain. Mathematics, poetry, language developed because of that part of the brain. The second brain is amygdala, limbic system. They are known as the emotional brain. The emotional brain only always is very suspicious of others. Danger, there is always a danger, right? If we operate from there, we will notice only what is danger, what is negative very easily. To see positive one, we have to operate from our second brain, the more evolved brain, that is neocortex. Then you will see quite many positive, even in those employees we usually consider as negative people. That is, I'm not saying easy, it is,
but it is possible.
But with practice, it is possible to practice.
Thank you so much, Father. Thank you.
Swapna ma'am, I think technically you have asked the question for all. This is the dilemma of all the HR heads here. How to manage the people.
Not only HR heads, for all of us, even at home.
I will completely answer. There are one kind of people who are very negative. They are known as psychopath. If you look at the brain of a psychopath, the brain for empathy is absent. They can't even look at other people as a human beings. Now, that is the kind of people we can do nothing about it. If a person is a psychopath, doesn't mean one who carries a knife and killing. No. Psychopath is one who cannot empathize with other people's suffering. One who doesn't feel guilt at all. And we have to feel bad for them because they are born like that. that drive for bonding, relating is absent in their brain itself. So that we can, but all others, what I am saying, if we try, it is applicable.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Hezekiah Misra, would you like to ask some questions to Father? There is a battery of people from State Bank. Arun or Piyush? Because a State Bank faces all these things quite often with the 2 lakhs plus employees.
Actually, the question, sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for calling me. And now it's really a great initiative of IIBF having the HR conference and listening to the great Father George Sebastian, sir. It was really wonderful, sir. Giving the example of altruism, it's really a great word. Altruism, if you practice, definitely positivity will spread, sir. So the question is, see, during this digital era, we have so many social networking websites. And how to actually negativity? That ma'am has already asked this question. But whenever we see a lot many positivities are there, if one person becomes negative, they will post something on the Facebook, something like that. So how to again the same question? We need to identify all those persons. How to identify and how to go up to that extent to prevent all those negativity to be stopped at that point of level itself.
Yeah, digital world is really making it very difficult because you get more liking if you send a negative message rather than positive message. You write something very nasty, it goes viral. Something killing or something negative even becomes viral, right? But actually, each one of us, we observe these negative things are aberrations. For example, we don't have proper research studies in India. In America, the Katrina cyclone came. Newspaper was filled with the message that people were looting, people were stealing things, or even people killed one another. So after 6 months, group of psychologists went and studied completely, and they found none of those things were true. The only thing that was true was there was a group of people, they went into the store, took things, and that also they did in order to give it to other people. So there were so many positive things, nothing was highlighted in digital area. What was highlighted was sometimes it is pure imagination of people. Yeah, one person killed that. They went and verified, and no killing took place. So those things, always the saturation point is there. The negative things can reach saturation point very fast. Then it becomes viral. Similarly, we have to, the positive thing also should become viral. And if we can prepare from family onwards, because within the family we are willing to see positive things, right? So from there we have to start, train our mind, because our emotional brain is very strong.
Something.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dr. Pradhan, are you able to hear us? Dr. Pradhan from Auxiliary?
Is there?
Is it there? I see. Other part, extremely well explained. I think both the questions are a little difficult, but the way you explained, I think all of us will be a little confident how to deal with it. And it is scientifically also explained. It is not that, but putting to practice. So thank you, Director, on behalf of the IIBF, on behalf of all the participants from the banks. I thank you for sparing your time and answering the questions. Is quite thought-provoking also. It will linger for some time in our mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think you have other schedules also.
I have a class. Yeah, right.
Sir,
Thanks.
okay. Yeah, we will complete the presentation in another maybe 10 minutes before you go to the panel discussion. Quickly.
So friends, I was just talking about the leadership development program in collaboration with XLRI, and incidentally, the XLRI director was with us.
No, it was meant like that.
No, means he was to come, but the time matched actually. So at that time only. So friends, the next program of this leadership development will be starting on 9th October, and it will be announced shortly. So those who are interested, they can nominate their officers for this program. This is a very good program actually. There is a joint certification by XLRI and IIBF. There is an assessment test also, and the lectures are taken by most of the lectures are by XLRI faculties. Some are by our IIBF faculties as well. So it's a joint program. Another important collaboration we are having with IIM Calcutta for our advanced management program. We have been doing this program for more than a decade now, and the 10th program is going on as of now with 88 participants from 23 banks and financial institutions. So this program is of 10 months duration, 5 days in a week, 5 days in a month, 4 Sundays, as well as 1 second Saturday. So this is weekend program basically. It's a very comprehensive management program having 18 modules, okay, and covering almost all the areas: strategic management, IT, risk, treasury, you name any, all these verticals which we are mentioning are covered in that particular program. We have
on behalf of IIBF, I thank all the HR heads for giving the support for this particular program. Thank you.
Today only we had the convocation of the 9th batch in the morning, where the IBA Chief Executive, Mr. Sunil Mehta, actually delivered the keynote address. So my request is that the bankers should keep on supporting and our initiatives, and these collaborations are going to help the banks a lot in shaping their leadership pipeline and succession planning. Then there is third important collaboration which we have created with the JBIMS, General Lal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, for our advanced strategic leadership program. This collaboration has been actually finalized, but the first program will be starting somewhere in October. So once it is lined up, we'll actually announce it on our website. This program is basically, there are 10 intensive classroom virtual sessions in this of 90 minutes each. It's a basically short duration program. It can be completed in 5 consecutive days in a week, or it may be spread over the 3 to 5 weeks during the weekends. And the target group for this program is the top executives, that is the GMs and CGMs. So this is basically to develop the vision and vision about the strategic management, how to understand the environment, make the strategies to take the institution forward in the top leadership positions. So these are the 3 important collaborations. We are working on many more, but at present these are being stabilized. So thank you very much, and I will request Mr. Our colleague, Mr. Preetam Kar, who is the Deputy Director, to take forward about the further collaboration.
Thank you, sir. So the important collaboration that we are having now, especially when the BFSI sector is poised for phenomenal growth, despite the pandemic, riding on the development in financial technologies and information explosion. So the 3 behemoths of financial education sector, academic sector, IIBF and NISM, which is National Institute of Securities Market, and NIA, which is National Insurance Agency, will be coming together to develop an all-encompassing, one-of-a-kind course for the entire BFSI sector. This will be the first of its kind venture, wherein academia has actually addressed the growing need, the actual need of industry. When there is a need of a growing population of trained, employable population of BFSI professionals. So this course is especially planned, painstakingly designed to cater to that particular requirement. With the pedagogy wise, this will be an interesting amalgamated pedagogy, wherein the courseware, along with the printed courseware, there will be an e-learning element to the whole course, as well as contact classes delivered by all the 3 institutes. So this is something that is going to be finalized going forward, and we will be intimating you in detail on this particular schedule. IIBF also has collaborations, ongoing collaborations with FEDI, Institute of Company Secretaries, FIMDA, and IIBF, which is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, for its various certification and diploma courses, which we are already ongoing, and we will be leveraging on their industry-specific expertise for the benefit of the banking professionals as a whole. With this, I will invite my colleague Soumya Paktasarathi to talk about the international collaborations.
Hello everyone. About the collaborations on the international front, our global footprints. One of the very recently collaboration which happened in June 2021 was with GARP, the Global Association of Risk Professionals. We are all aware that GARP is the world's leading risk management association, and the course that we have entered into, or the collaboration, the partnership with GARP is to offer the FRR course, that is the Financial Risk Financial Risk and Regulations course. This course is basically giving an overview of the financial risk in the workplace that we are having. Also, it will be giving a deeper insight to the candidates about the globally accepted risk management practices. So this course is basically covering 4 modules, as you can see. It is on credit risk, market risk, operational risk, and asset and liability management. The eligibility criteria for this would be the JAIIB or the CAIIB passed candidates who can register on the IIBF portal by paying a nominal amount of 1,000 rupees. And we will be sharing the details of such registered candidates to GARP, who in turn will be communicating to the registered candidates on the registration formalities. And as you can see, if it is being registered through the IIBF portal, the candidate gets a preferential rate of about $300 as against a GARP member and a non-GARP member who gets about $350 and $450 respectively. The modules are having equal weightage. The exam pattern is on the MCQ pattern, which is having about 80 questions to be completed in about 175 minutes. So once you register with GARP, after paying the fee, you will be provided with the ebooks, which you'll be taking through it. The registration over here would be open every quarter. So the first registration was opened in the month of July, wherein we are very happy to announce that about 215 candidates have registered in the first window of this collaboration. And the next window will be open in the month of October. It will be a 2-week window which will be there, and followed by the next quarter, which will be in January 2022 and then in April 2022. And the timeline for completion of this course would be about 9 months. The next one. We are also happy to tell you that we are having a collaboration with the Chartered Banker Institute, London. Over here, we are giving the professional conversion course, which will be there. Next. Yeah. The professional conversion course is what we are offering in partnership with the Chartered Banker Institute. Over here, as you can see, that there are 2 routes that we have given. One is for JAIIB candidates who can acquire the Associate Chartered Banker status, and the CAIIB candidates who can acquire the Chartered Banker status. Now, the difference between these two is will be a small assignment which will be given to the registered candidate. In case of JAIIB, the candidate will have to register through IIBF. The details again will be shared with the Chartered Banker Institute, London, and who in turn will communicate with the registered candidates on the registration formalities further. So The candidate will then have to submit a reflective assignment on the professionalism and ethics code. Herein, the reading material that the candidate will have to refer is the Institute's courseware on ethics and banking. So once he completes this, he will be assigned the Associate Chartered Banker status by Chartered Banker Institute. As far as the CAIIB candidate is considered, you can see that there are two ways that he can acquire the Chartered Banker status. One is wherein he's already completed his CAIIB, then he has to give his reflective assignment, and then if it's approved or it is evaluated, then the Chartered Banker Institute gives the Chartered Banker status. Over here, of course, the candidate can directly approach the Chartered Banker Institute at the email address which we have already disclosed on our website. And after making the requisite fee, he will be given the assignment. The reading material again will be provided in the form of an ebook by the Chartered Banker Institute itself. However, let's say if a candidate has already acquired the Associate Chartered Banker Institute, Associate Chartered Banker status, then he has to just submit his CAIIB qualified certificate to the Chartered Banker Institute, and he is being given the Chartered Banker status. So, and in this case, we are also happy to tell you that wherein the candidates, that is the JIIB candidates who are registering through the IIBF portal, since inception, we have got about 330 plus candidates who have registered with us. So this is also a very big milestone in the two registrations or in the two global collaborations that we have had. Coming to the next one, we are having with the Chartered Institute for Securities and Investment. This is the examination that we are having exclusively for candidates who have passed the certificate, passed IIBF's examination in risk in financial services. To note that in the earlier slides, or which have been talked by my colleagues, it is also the one of the blended courses which are available. So a candidate who passes this can actually go and avail the level 2 examination of CISI. One thing which I would like to tell everyone over here is that there might be candidates who would have passed the IIBF's diploma in treasury and investment risk management. Then they would have also passed the CAIIB taking risk management as an elective, or they would have passed the risk management as a separate certificate course. All these three examinations, if passed by any of these candidates, they are exempt from writing the CRFS exam of IIBF. However, they will have to register for the CRFS exam, and they will have to undergo the 3-day training program, which is being embedded into the CRFS qualification. And after that, if they are interested, they can take the level 2 examination. So here also, we have had a series. This has been going on for quite some time, and we have seen large numbers taking this certification. With this, I request our CEO to give the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Samya. Before the concluding remark, let us have some thought about the warriors. Now the bankers have been also categorized under warriors during pandemic. The past year has shown that even in the bleakest of times, hope can be found in those around us, the family members, the friends, and our colleagues. The tribute to those employees and warriors who have laid down their lives serving the customers and serving for the banks. The role of HR department, irrespective of the banks, deserves special mention for their sensitive handling of all these cases. Thank you, the HR heads. This IIBF is an institute actually for the bankers and by the bankers. It is a non-profit organization owned by bankers only. The governing board is headed by Sri Rajkiran Rai. It keeps on changing, and it consists of the heads of most of the banks, representative from public sector banks, private sector banks, cooperative banks, and small finance banks also. The journey of IIBF of the last 9 decades is marked by two things: the strength and resilience and adaptability to changing needs. And third and most important is maintaining close relationship with the banks and financial institutions to identify the gaps. Over the years, IIBF has worked tirelessly and able to create courses and programs which are rich in content and contemporary, which are having practical utility. However, the job is not yet finished. The show must go on with all your support. The new courses will be developed. The existing courses will be revamped. And if you see here, the journey, we want to be the part of the journey because learning is a journey. So it is said that anyone who starts learning is old, whether at 20, that means 20 or 21 when he joins the bank, or at 60 when he retires from the bank. So we aspire to be one of the one-stop solution providers for the bankers for their training needs at various levels. If you see the courseware and curriculum which has been developed over a period of time, it starts with the pre-boarding e-learning programs, which has been specifically designed and tested by one of the largest PSUs. Then comes the JIB and CIB. This gives the springboard to the people who have joined. And with this revised course of JIB, CIB, there will be a distinct differentiation between the person who have passed the CIB and the person who have not. Then comes a little bit of specialization at the junior and middle management gate, where you have to have the mandatory certificate courses which you need to pass to gain some the knowledge in specialized field. Then comes the middle and senior management, where we have placed the professional banker, our AMP program, and MBA with IGNOU. The professional banker will be a game changer going forward. My request to all the HRs, we have shared the presentation with all of you. We may share once again if you so like. We would like to receive your feedback on this professional banker. It was actually designed after extensive consultation with not only HR heads, also the heads of different banks. And at the end, we have the MDPs or EDPs for the senior management, like this auxiliary program, the program with Jamnalal Bajaj. So the saying goes, the education is the passport to the future for tomorrow. The people, the organizations who invest here in the education of their employees, to upgrade the competency and skill level of the employees, will get the maximum benefit out of that. So here in the robust academic and training verticals of IIBF can collaborate with you to create and deliver the programs effectively. My request to you that all these programs, we have been getting the adequate support from all of you, but as the IIBF is also the institute for the bankers, we want little more cooperation from you. The time has come, the banks to align with IIBF, be it the PSUs, be it private sector banks, be it urban cooperative banks or the small finance banks, to co-create courses and training programs to prepare competent and skilled banking professionals who are future ready. The professional banker qualification will plug the gap in the middle management level, as I was telling, and I request you to come back with your suggestions. The advanced management program will create the necessary footboard for the middle management employees of different banks while they go up, and we have already taken up with IBA to make it a necessary qualification when they grow up in the organization. So my request to all the training heads and to share their views. Now also they can give their feedback, or subsequently also they can send their feedback by email. But we love to have your feedback here. And thank you for the patient hearing for almost 1 hour.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your presentation. Now we'll be having a feedback session for 10 minutes. I request all our participants to please adhere to the timings because we are already delayed by 15 minutes. So we'll have some suggestions and feedback from our participants. I request you to show a hand raise, unmute yourselves, put on your videos on, and then you can please speak. Over to you all. Anyone who would like to give their suggestion or some feedbacks, you're most welcome. Thank you.
So this conference is basically to obtain valuable feedback from bankers, sir. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, so our request is that kindly, if you feel that anything needs improvement or any new course or any new training program which you've introduced, kindly share your views so that we will definitely examine and get it implemented to the extent which is possible at the earliest. So can we have some feedback from members?
One we have already received.
One we have received.
Course, for amendment.
Yeah. Other than that, anybody else? Nisha sir, somebody is raising.
Arun Tripathi.
Who?
Arun Tripathi.
Arun Tripathi. Yeah, kindly please then. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir.
I am Rishikesh Mira from Union Bank of India Staff College, Bangalore. Sir, I would like to first extend our gratitude and thanks to the IIBF for so many initiatives, right from recruitment to the top level leadership program. And not only the banks are transforming themselves, the EASE reform, I think beyond EASE is going on in this Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. So pre-boarding, actually it has worked well, and our POs who have joined this year, I think 680 POs. So they have undergone e-learning module, pre-boarding, and then they have started. So all understanding were there before joining the bank itself. So it was wonderful. Which program you are talking about? So it was wonderful, sir. And this initiative of HR conference, bringing all the bank and HR officials together, it was really great to listen to so many speakers, and more particularly our Girdharan sir and our MD and CEO Union Bank of India Rajkiran Rai sir. He has given a good insight, and then Girdharan sir, and then our
Hello.
Father George Sebastian sir. So good, sir, and all those programs are going on well. And my request, sir, see the collaboration and tie-up which the institute has done, sir. It was a great initiative of the institute. The tie-up with the CC, I am also one of the beneficiaries for the CC. I have just qualified this level 1 and then registered for the CC level 2 also. So it is a great initiative. I'll be having a clear understanding about the risk management and all those things, because we see that if we have the knowledge about each and any subject, then we can deliver our roles and responsibilities excellently. So preparing our staff in the changing banking scenario, digital era, these initiatives will help the bank and bankers. So HR conference, really we have been benefited. I have been personally benefited with this, whatever is happening in the IIBF. Again, my request will be to IIBF to have already job family program already started, and it is one of the initiative of the IIBF. So it's a great, sir. I think lot many initiatives are there. If any suggestions will be there, I will be sharing the suggestions for the improvement. But already the proactive approach is there by the IIBF, sir. I would like to thank our Das sir, Muralidharan sir, and nicely explained by Sri Girdharan sir about expansion of Murli. So it is really modulation, understanding, and then respond, assimilation, level, and introspection. So it is really nice, and this kind of introspection, review, and all those things are required. So great initiatives, and all thanks hearty thanks and sincere gratitude, sir, for such kind of initiative. So I will be sharing if any suggestion for the improvement also through mail also, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajip. We place on record your the contribution to changing the syllabus of JIB and CIB. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Sir. It was
Mr.
my
Arun
pleasure.
Tripathi, sir, you can please speak, sir. Thank you.
You, ma'am, thanks for introducing two new courses in the IIBF. But I want to say that some more courses may be introduced in syllabus, just like labor laws or industrial relations, domestic inquiries, and risk-based internal audit.
Okay, thank you. We have noted. We have
Sir,
noted
thanks
this.
for inviting us to the conference.
Thank you, sir.
I am welcome.
Sir, Mr. Hari Babu Shukla, sir, you can please speak.
You have not to reply.
I think Mrs. Seema
Yeah.
Singh. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, madam. Madam, you can speak, please.
With all the HR experts over here, I have a request to make. Can we have a training program, especially for the HR officers, on this digital HR transformation? The basic topic of this is so relevant in the present circumstances, which is so unusual. If we can have our HR officers have a training on this, it would be very beneficial. This is my suggestion.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you. It never occurred to us. So we can take the help of XLRI as well as Mr. The Giridharan of RBI, EQ. So you have seen that. So in case we will ask for the nomination and fix up the time in consultation with all the HRS. Right.
Thank you so much.
Great idea. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Kajal Thakkar, you may please speak.
Yeah. First of all, thanks a lot for such a knowledge upgradation session. As we are into the cooperative sector, I look forward also because when we send the participants or something, they feel there is a gap in the level of the training. So we expect also IIBF to customize the training program for the cooperative banks. That will help us to make more participation, because we restrict because there is a level of the PSUs or huge banks. So that is one of the suggestion from my end. Like we are now receiving such kind of training program for other institute from RBI. So we also look forward from the IIBF also in for risk management, because now RBI is made it mandatory to hire a risk officer, chief risk officer. So such kind of programs, if that can be introduced.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, we have already embarked upon that. If you
Yes, sir.
The MD of Saraswat Cooperative Bank is also one of our members in governing council. We have already written to RBI. We are designing few courses specifically for urban cooperative bank. Once we receive the clearance from RBI and a few of the cooperative banks whom we are talking to, it will be on an encompassing course. Mr. Mehrotra is in charge of that.
So which cooperative bank you are from?
I'm still from the Kalupur Commercial Cooperative Bank.
Kalupur Commercial. We have been conducting a lot of programs actually for cooperative banks recently.
We will be in touch with you. The type of programs you need.
We will send you the list.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Arvind R. Sir, you may please speak, sir.
Good evening, dignitaries present here. This is Arvind from Karur Vaishya Bank Staff Training College. I just take 2 minutes time. I wanted to have 2 points. One thing is that the HR heads of various banks were saying something else on digital transformation. So can you think of having some new courses on analytics and blockchain, which can help us in making the younger generation future the bankers? So we would like to, shall we have some courses on data analytics and blockchain, more relevant to banking? There are a lot of courses in open domain about blockchain and about data analytics. So can make it more comprehensive, how it can be useful to the bankers. This is the thing that I wanted to share. You can think of having some collaboration with the XLRI or some other there are various universities available in the world. So which will be helpful us in making our younger bankers more vibrant. So, and second thing is that regarding this remote protocol examination, it needs some fine tuning because it gives lot of disturbance and it is giving some distraction when we are reading the questions. So some sort of inconvenience is there. So please fine tune that remote protocol examination viability. So this is the two things I wanted to share, and thanks for your valuable time that you have given to me. Thank you.
Thank you. We note that remote proctor part. We are working on that. As I told you at the beginning, it is also an experimentation from our side also with the vendors. Please bear with us. We are trying to fix all the things. And for the other part, I would request Dr. Muralidharan to respond to that.
Yeah, for your kind information, sir, the recent course that we will be having from October 2021, which is on emerging technologies, is basically on the blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analytics. Those portions will be covered in this course specifically. For the time being, we are recommended two books written by foreign authors, but going forward in the next couple of months probably, we will be having our own book on emerging technologies, specifically how these emerging technologies can be dovetailed for the banking and finance sector. That will be shortly made available. But for the time being, for the next couple of months, anyway, this course which you are saying will be covered, but anyway, a very good suggestion, which we will be implementing it from October 2021 onwards. Definitely, we will do that, sir. No problem.
Thank you. Thanks for your input.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much to all the and we all welcome your suggestions and your feedbacks. Your suggestions and feedback are well taken, and we'll definitely work on them. Now we'll move ahead with the next. We'll proceed further with the panel discussion on the theme of our HR conference, that is transforming HR in the digital world. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you all to the panelists for the panel discussion. I'll just set the stage. Give me a minute, please. We are fortunate enough to have the august presence of our panelists. To start with, we are privileged to have
Yes, all the panel members are visible now.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible to all the participants, please?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you all waiting. So we are privileged to have the august presence of our panelists. To start with, we have Ms. Lakshmi R. Srinivas, CGM and Head STU, State Bank of India. Madam, Madam is
good evening to everyone.
Yeah, Madam is the Chief General Manager and Head of Strategic Training Unit at State Bank of India.